Right? Yeah. All right, Sweaty Cup.
Okay.
Thanks for taking the time. We've just been one of your seminars, and I gotta say, that's great. Seriously, like anybody out there who's in the UK, particularly in the States, who's looking for a seminar, this is the guy you need to look up. So, Liam, thanks again so much for taking the time. Wanted to get to know you a little bit, let the U.S. crowd meet you a little bit. I know you've been anxious to fight in this. You haven't fought in the States, have you?
No, I've never fought in the States before, but I'm looking to do so hopefully this year, hopefully.
Awesome. I think there's some American talent there we can rustle up.
Yeah, definitely some great fighters coming through in America now, especially like Kevin Ross. He's making a big name for himself, not just obviously in the States, but worldwide now as well. So there's some good opportunities out there.
So I just wanted to get into your background. Like, how long? I mean, you're 24, 25?
25 now, yeah.
And how long have you been fighting?
Been fighting for 11 years now. I've had my first fight when I was 14. That was C-class rules with no protection, no shin pads. I had a few junior fights before that, but I don't really count them on my record.
And you've always been with Richard at Bad Company?
Yeah, I started with Richard when I was 13 years old. I was playing a lot of football and stuff at the time, so I initially went down just for a bit of extra fitness when I want football training. And one time he just offered me a fight, I took it, I won, and then after that I just fell in love with the sport, and then that were it.
Andy's your cousin, isn't he?
Yeah.
And who's older?
Everybody thinks I'm the old one. I'm 25, Andy's 32 next month. He's got the baby face.
So he started before you then?
Yeah, he started a couple of months before me.
Did he get you into it?
Yeah, he just dragged me down one time and said, come down, you'll enjoy this, have a go. And it's funny actually, because we actually started going just so we could spar with each other and have a bit of a tear up with each other at first, and then we both had a few fights and started to make a name. Andy more so before me as he were older, and I think Andy won an English and a British title in only his 5th and 6th fight, so he really tore into fruit rankings. It took me a bit longer to progress and stuff.
Anybody else in the family coming up the ranks?
Our cousin as well, she's a girl, she fights as well. She's not so keen as we are, but every now and then she gets in there. She's not too bad.
That's awesome. So you've got some memorable fights. You have, what is it? 60-something fights now, right?
76 fights.
76.
76, yeah, and 66 win.
And I think I remember writing some sort of statistic that 46% KO.
Yeah.
So, if you were to describe yourself as your fighting style, how would you describe your fighting style?
I like to think I'm pretty versatile. If I can have my own way in a fight, I like to go forward and look to hurt my opponent with strong punches, strong low kicks. My favourite fighter is Saenchai. I love to watch him. I try and, if I could have my way, that's how I'd fight every fight. But obviously every fight's not like that, so I like to think I'm pretty versatile. I can be like more of a Fimmer fighter as well, a technician. I like to think I can use my elbows. I like to try and be adaptable to who I'm fighting.
Right. So you were at the Thai fight. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I think I mentioned it a little bit on your site before. It was just one of them things. It was just they're already an heavier weight than what I was fighting at and stuff, and then I was holding myself around at a heavier weight than what I'd usually walk around at. And then the first time I did it, I held myself around 69 kilos the day before the weigh-in. On the morning of the fight, I woke up 68. I put the sweatsuit on, I went running, and I actually weighed in lighter than everyone. And I thought, well, I don't want to do that again this time. But in the 3 days building up to that weigh-in this time, I just got really ill. I was spewing up blood and vomiting and stuff, and I just couldn't bring myself to just put the suit on and go running again. I turned up to the actual weigh-in and I wasn't going to fight. I didn't want to be there. I was so ill. Even of that amount of money, I didn't want to fight. I got talked into it, and they ended up winning as well. It was just unfortunate I couldn't carry on in competition, but rules are rules. And
yeah. Well, hopefully you're going to get an opportunity to see Fabio or some of those guys again. I think Thai fight is going forward, and you're probably going to be a part of that again, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been offered to go again this year. What I was more gutted about is obviously there was a lot of money at stake and stuff like that, which would have been nice, but what I was really more disappointed in is not getting the chance to get to the Final Four and prove myself against the other top ranked fighters in the world, like Youssef, Fabio, and those guys usually do fight a bit heavier weight than me, but I would love the opportunity to mix it within there, especially Fabio, because in my opinion, at the minute at that weight, there's me and there's him who are the best two non-Thai fighters out there. So
He's got a very nice Thai style about him as well.
He's not only got the nice Thai style, he's very aggressive, he's a real hard puncher, he's really tough, he's got a big heart, he's got everything. If I had to choose my favourite non-Thai fighter out of everyone, that's who it would be. So that's why I think it would be a great fight with me and him.
Sure. Now, everyone knows you've got a big fight coming up in fairly soon. What's the date?
It's 9th of April, 4 weeks from now.
Up in Doncaster on the Dan Green show.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, Saenchai. So, how do you train for Saenchai? Like, I mean...
It's just a difficult one, isn't it? Just the first time I fought him, I went to Thailand and I trained out there, and I was fit, I was sharp and everything, but I just got too much caught up fighting into his game. The first 2 rounds, I think he basically just lulled me into fighting his game, which is when you stood in there in front of him, it's hard not to do that. I went in there with the intention of fighting my own fight, but after the first 2 rounds I was doing okay at his game, and that's how it carried on, and then he just upped his game, and obviously he took over because he is the master, he's the best at that style. This time I've got a few different things I'm going to work on, and I am going to fight my fight this time.
Well, the first time, is it fair to say that you can almost be a little bit starstruck? Like you get in there, yeah. I mean, you fight at the highest levels, but is there a little bit of that when you're in the ring with him? You're like, damn, I'm fighting Saenchai. Or do you get over that quickly, or is that something in your first fight that was a factor?
The first fight, I had it in my head that there was nothing to lose, so that didn't really bother me. It's exactly the same with this fight. He's the one who's never lost to any Farang fighter out there. He's already beat me. I have nothing to lose at all. So this time, I am just going to give it every single ounce of effort I've got. Because at the end of the day, if he loses, it's his reputation, it's his legacy that's going to be gone. So he's going to be fighting for that. If I win, it's my legacy that's going to be built.
You're going to be in the UK fighting, training for Saenchai.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, he trains out of the Bad Company, which is in Leeds. And if I can remember correctly, there's Richard Catton, you, Andy, and Jordan, and a host of other guys. I don't even know who's coming up the ranks. What's the deal with your gym? Like, why? What do you think? What's the secret sauce? Why are there so many talented fighters coming out of Bad Company?
Like you mentioned there, there's those guys. We've also got James France, who's European champion as well, regarded as one of the most technical fighters in the country. We've got David Mack as well, ranked #1 at 57 kilos in the rankings. He's just won a Commonwealth title as well. It's just down to, obviously, mainly Richard Smith, our coach. My opinion is, I've worked all over with some great coaches in Thailand as well as over here and stuff. Without doubt, he's up there with any coach I've ever worked with in Thailand. Over here, in my eyes, he's the best coach easily. He's got a tactic for every style of fight. His Muay Thai brain is always learning and advancing. He's always going to Thailand himself, always wanting to learn. A lot of people, when they've got their own gym, they'll just be thinking, this is my gym now, this is what it is. But he's always willing to learn. He's always going to Thailand, training with Thai trainers himself, trying to up his game and stuff. So obviously what he's teaching us, and then we're teaching to the others, and it's just a knock-on effect that's working all through. We're all close-knit, we're all best friends, like family and stuff as well. So especially like me, Jordan, Andy and stuff, we're like brothers, so we're always training together every day. We're always learning off each other. There's people always going to Thailand. Obviously Richard's got 3 kids, and sometimes if he's a bit busy, he's brought Thai trainers over to stay in our gym for 6 months and help train with us. We've had Rajasaksavorapin come over. We've had a guy called Mr. Deng, who was a trainer of Jongton Chuatana and other top fighters like that. We've had Chanoi come over, who's beaten Ramon Decker 2 times. We've had some really great coaches that have come and worked with us in his gym. And like I say, even when those coaches are over as well, Richard won't just sit back and let them take over everything. He'll still be doing his own thing, and he'll still be training with those to learn himself. So it's
and you're a full-time trainer there now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. That's my job now, just fighting and training. I work through the day in the gym, train on the morning, work through the day, back in the gym at the night.
Well, mate, I want to thank you so much for taking this time out to talk with US and UK Muay Thai fans. Wishing you the best of luck with this upcoming fight. I think you're gonna get him, and I hope, obviously, you get an opportunity to fight in the States. I know a lot of people are itching to see you in the States, and I think you, Kevin, would be a great matchup. Be amazing.
Thank you.
So
thank you
thanks
for the
very much.
exposure. Thank you.